Afternoon, everyone. Wade Scott with the Delaware Elder Law Center. As an elder law attorney, I help protect a family's life savings from the devastating cost of long-term care. Now, in this video, I want to try to clear up an important misunderstanding that admissions professionals have that work for a long-term care facility, and make it more clear for families that want to have a loved one move into that particular facility. Now, here's how the situation comes up. When the family goes to meet with the professional and sign the contract, they learn that there's a rule of thumb that says the facility is only interested in new residents that have at least 2 years of assets to pay full price for their care. It's somewhat of a screening tool. Now, here's where the issue comes in. There are times where the admissions professional is willing to relax this rule of thumb so that a new resident can be admitted to the facility who does not have a full 2 years of assets to pay full price with. Often they're down very close to the Medicaid limitation on assets, and the facility is trying to help them and admit them to the facility. They will relax the rule of thumb, and they're willing to do this because the admissions professional has a fundamental misunderstanding of a Medicaid rule that allows for retroactive payment under certain circumstances. The admissions professional's misunderstanding seems to be that they believe if their new resident simply has filed an application for Medicaid, that Medicaid at some point will pay retroactively for up to 3 months on the basis that at least the resident filed the application. The harm here is that when Medicaid finally rules on the application, Medicaid will only pay retroactively in very limited circumstances, and this leads to the resident ending up owing the facility sometimes as much as 3 months monthly rent. And that's a travesty for a lot of people. And so here's how the rule really works. Medicaid doesn't have this concept of Medicaid pending in the regulations. It speaks to retroactive payment. And that rule is very narrow. So only when Medicaid has finally approved the application will it consider retroactive payment. And the rule says that Medicaid will only pay retroactively if 2 conditions have been met. The first is that there's an open bill to pay. That means an amount due and owing for each month that's under consideration. And then the applicant needs to prove that they're fully qualified for Medicaid in each of those months that they're seeking retroactive payment. That means all the paperwork has to be in. Nothing can be outstanding, or they're not otherwise qualified for the long-term care benefit. And those are the only circumstances for retroactive payment. I hope this has made this a little bit more clear, not only for the admissions professional, but for the families. If anyone has any questions about this issue or any other long-term care issue, please call me at 302-300-4390. Thanks.